Welcome to a world of dreams, determination, and discovery. Every great invention begins with a spark, and every great person begins with one belief: I can. Today's story is about a little boy once called a fool by his school. But that same boy went on to light up the entire world. This is the inspiring story of Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison was born in 1847 in a small town in Ohio, USA. He was the youngest of 7 children. His family was poor, but his heart was full of endless curiosity. From the very beginning, Edison asked questions about everything. Why does light shine? How does sound travel? But his teachers didn't like that. To them, he was slow, talkative, and troublesome. One day, his teacher handed him a sealed letter. "Give this to your mother," he said sharply. Edison rushed home and asked, "Mom, what does the letter say?" His mother opened it. Tears filled her eyes, then she smiled and said softly, "The teacher says you are a very intelligent child, but our school is too small to teach someone as bright as you." Edison's eyes lit up with pride. His mother's words gave him wings. Years later, after his mother passed away, Edison found that same old letter tucked away in a drawer. He opened it, and his hands trembled as he read the real words. It said, "Your son is mentally weak. We cannot keep him in our school." Tears rolled down his face. He whispered through shaking lips. Thomas Edison, the boy once called a fool, became the man who lit up the world because of a mother who believed in him. After leaving school, his mother began teaching him at home. Edison devoured science books and began performing small experiments on his own. At just 12 years old, he started selling newspapers and candy on trains. In one corner of the train, he built a tiny laboratory, his first science lab on wheels. But one day, one of his experiments went terribly wrong. The chemicals caught fire. The train filled with smoke. The furious conductor threw him off the train and struck him so hard that he became almost deaf for life. But Edison never complained. He simply said, "Becoming deaf was a blessing, because now I can focus more on my thoughts." As he grew older, he built his own laboratory in New Jersey, a place where ideas never slept. He worked day and night, mixing metals, testing wires, and burning materials in search of one dream: a light bulb that could last long enough to replace candles forever. He failed, again and again. Hundreds of materials, metal, fabric, bamboo, even hair, nothing worked. One day, a journalist mocked him, asking, "Mr. Edison, how does it feel to have failed 1,000 times?" Edison smiled and said, "I haven't failed 1,000 times. I've just found 1,000 ways that don't work." After 10,000 experiments, yes, 10,000. In 1879, he finally succeeded. He discovered that a carbonized bamboo filament could burn for over 1,200 hours. And just like that, the world's first practical electric light bulb was born. Edison laughed with joy and said, "We will make electricity so cheap that only the rich will burn candles." That single invention changed human history forever. The darkness of night disappeared. Cities glowed. Factories ran longer. And the world was never the same again. But Edison didn't stop there. He went on to create over 1,000 inventions. The phonograph, the motion picture camera, the electric power system, and improvements in the telephone and telegraph. He worked 16 to 18 hours every single day. His famous quote echoed through time: "Genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration." People used to say, "Edison doesn't sleep, he just recharges his ideas." Then, when he was 67, disaster struck. A massive fire broke out in his laboratory. Everything, his notes, his experiments, his life's work, burned to ashes. His son ran to him, terrified that his father would break down. But Edison just smiled calmly and said, "Go get your mother. She'll never see a fire like this again." The next morning, standing before the ruins, he said with quiet strength, "This disaster is a new beginning. All our mistakes have burned. Thank God, we can start again." And within weeks, he rebuilt everything. With the same hope, the same courage, and the same fire in his heart. In 1931, at the age of 84, Thomas Edison passed away. That night, people all across America turned off their lights for 1 minute. The same light he had given to the world went out for a moment. It was the world's way of saying thank you to the men who turned darkness into light. Edison once said, "Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The surest way to succeed is always to try just one more time." So remember, failure is never the end, it's just a step toward success. Faith and hard work can make a person great. Because hard work can achieve what talent alone cannot. Every problem has a solution. If you refuse to give up and try just one more time,